Hello and welcome to episode 4 of People Are Lame. Today it's me, Isaac Ulibarri, joined by my brother Bill. Say what's up, Bill.
Hello, how are you doing? It is the ceiling is currently above me. That is what's up.
Okay, we got a foreigner in here who likes to drink vodka. So, what have you been up to?
Work.
Just another day in paradise?
I know you guys can't see, but I gave him a blank look.
Yeah.
Cause
So it's Friday, and the weekend is upon us.
Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Sorry.
Which, we don't really have, I don't really do anything on weekends. I just watch movies and, there's nothing like, well, I should see what's in theaters this week, which will be the 13th? So Friday the 13th.
Orale.
Oh, so they do. We have the Friday the 13th movie, spooky movie, The Bye-Bye Man.
What was it? Spooky.
Spooky. No, it's not even, that doesn't even sound like a scary title.
No,
it's Spoopy Man. He bye-bye.
The Bye-Bye Man. No, I've seen trailers and everything, and it just looks like it's gonna fall flat.
It looks very cliche.
Yeah, and it's like,
Bye-bye, Spoopy Man.
the way I've never seen Ouija because it looked dumb, but I've heard it's dumb from everybody I know. Like, you saw Ouija too, but I feel like it's gonna turn out exactly like that. Like, what did you think about Ouija 2? I know you saw that.
I don't know. They're all, those are dumb movies. That's it. They're made with, this movie was probably made with a budget of like $2 to $3 million, so it's going to make back its money the first weekend anyways. They probably already made its back the money selling it to foreign markets, so yeah, who cares? What a stupid name, Bye-Bye Man. It sounds like if it was a scary movie for little kids.
But what's the trailer? It's like, if you think of him, he will get you. Like,
The Bye-Bye Man.
that doesn't make sense. Then it's kind of like,
I just saw the part where they're on the railroad tracks.
don't do it, it's fake. Like, what?
Or the very cliched part of all horror movies always have to do this, of looking in the mirror and then moving the mirror in the bathroom a little bit, and then you see a reflection. Oh, the Bye-Bye Man.
No.
It's a spoopy.
Why don't you know?
It's spoopy Spider-Man.
No, it does kind of remind me of that one movie where it was like The Following, or is that one thing? It was like the STD that killed.
Oh gosh, no! I really liked.
It's a good movie, but
It Follows. That movie.
It Follows. Yeah, that's what it was called.
So that's a good premise of the movie.
But
good.
it's essentially just saying an STD that kills.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what the underlying message was. Is number one, it's not a STD. It's something that follows you after you have sex with this person, and the only way to get rid of it following you is to trace. Give it to someone else, so you're kind of dooming them. Kind of like, the Ring with the videotape, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the scary movies part. But we have another one, Monta Trucks.
Oh, this one?
Monster Trucks.
Wow. Just...
I think it looks good, but, not
Shut
like,
up.
this
No.
movie's going to be amazing. This is like, hey, it's a stupid monster in a truck. It's a monster truck. Or like they used to say on the radio in Denver, they used to have... like parents calling with their little kids, and back when remember the monster trucks would come to the Pepsi Center in Denver,
Which
they have
reason.
whatever kid could say, Monster Truck the cutest got tickets, be like Monster Truck. So that's all I think of when I see that title is Monster Trucks.
But I mean, it looks just all right. So I was sadly born in January, which we always, anybody that was born in January gets the best movies.
Oh yeah, this is the weekend for your movies.
Yeah.
So,
and
Bye-Bye Man. There's a movie called Sleepless with Denzel Washington.
he does good movies, but
Live by Night with Ben Affleck.
That one looks interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be so Prohibition or something. Then Patriots Day.
Fucking puts on a cowl, starts beating people up.
Mark Wahlberg. No, I think it's a Transformer. Come on, Donnie, it's a Transformer.
Who's been doing those movies lately? Like, Deep Horizon. He just keeps putting Mark Wahlberg as the main character, and you're like, oh, okay. It was a Lone Survivor. Plot twist: he's the only one that survives. Then there's
There's the new Martin Scorsese movie Silence, which that's with like Andrew Garfield and Liam Neeson and let me see,
Andrew Garfield, really?
yeah, and Adam Driver, aka Kylo Ren. So yeah, that's basically. There's the Book of Love. Haven't seen it. The Crash. Looks like John Leguizamo's in it. Saving Banksy. So that's basically slim pickings this weekend. I think next weekend is the Triple X. I don't know. I know Underworld came out this month, which is stupid. Resident Evil 20 or something is coming out. Stupid. But I'm looking forward to Triple X. Xander, Return of Xander Cage. That's the only movie for January I'm looking forward to. But if you see any of those, let us know how you like it. We are now on Twitter, on at People Lame Pod, since People Are Lame was taken. So fuck that guy. People Lame Pod is the
The hostility, man.
Twitter handle, as you'd call it, and we're also on Facebook at People Are Lame Podcast. So People Are Lame Podcast on Facebook, People Lame Pod on Twitter. And then if you want to get in touch with us, like via email, it's peoplearelamepodcast@gmail.com. And today we're recording this, and it will not go just up on YouTube. We are also now on the iTunes podcast store, so we're on iTunes. We also got approved for Google Play Music, so we're going to be on those podcasts on Google Play, and then Stitcher. So you can listen to us on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. 4 places to listen to us, and I hope somebody out there hears it. And
There should be no excuse why you're not sharing it.
there should be no excuse.
No excuse.
Liking, subscribing, and then also I do want to hear from people who are listening to this. So do go to People Lame Pod on Twitter, and I will make it a point to, if you follow us, we'll follow back, because I want to get to know our followers, and I want to create a community within this, so we can branch out and build the podcast and get new and better content. This is still a work in progress. We're episode 4. And what I'm calling a work in progress is I listen to every podcast, and I'm just trying to find ways to make it better.
Yeah.
So before we record, we always kind of talk about our quirks and how we can fix it, and that's it. And on the iTunes store, we are under People Are Lame Podcast, and let me see. We are under TV and movies. So that's kind of the direction we're going, is TV and movies and pop culture and all that. So if you're listening, thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the pod.
I just gotta say this real quick. Good job, Isaac. Getting the name out there and putting in all these little.
Oh yeah, this is all. I'm trying to figure this all out on my my own. Just it's. Number one, shout out to, Ming, Ming from, the Comic Book Man, and of course one of my favorite podcasts ever. People Are Lame's also very, 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 our big fan is of Tell 'em Steve Dave, and of course Ming Chen is from there. But he also does his, I Sell Comics with Mike and Ming. So I love those guys. I have the Cryptozoic Men comic books, all the first edition of those, and they're all signed by what is it? Brian. I think Q signed them to Mike and Walt and all them. So it was really, those are. I have the TESD Town sweater, so I'm a big what do we call it? The TESD ants. We're also ants, but we're also lame ants.
He did the rock symbol.
Oh, the horns. Yeah, throw up your horns and you talk about TESD, motherfucker. So thanks to Ming for, shouting on us. He said on Twitter, congrats on starting up yourself, Isaac. Get that pod on iTunes. And what have we did? Fucking put it on iTunes. So thank you for that. I hope we get some followers and stuff. But this is a work in progress, and it'll be slow. So, yeah, that's what we have. And the first story of the week, Last week, well, whenever the DCEU, the DC Entertainment Universe comes up, I wish it could be like how we bring up Marvel and it's just like, oh, excitement. And, ooh, I can't wait what happens next. But I really feel it's more like, okay, what's coming up next? All right, what are you going to fuck up this time? And last week I ranted a lot on the Suicide Squad just because, I don't know, for some reason, I liked it when it first came out, but then when you let it sink in, it grinds my gears, as Peter Griffin would say. It really grinds my gears. Fucking Suicide Squad grinded my gears.
You definitely tore in tore into it for
Because it was
quite a bit.
because it's a terrible movie.
Give that part a listen.
Yeah, episode 3 we talked about Suicide Squad, but we were also trying to talk about the Justice League because you can't talk about anything without the movie before. And the movie before is, of course, Suicide Squad, which was supposed to be the saving grace of the DC universe. Of course, it made $800 and some million worldwide, but it sucked. Like, I don't think any of the DC movies for this entertainment universe has hit over like 30-40% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I know Rotten Tomatoes, it's a review aggregator, but still, it's like all these people and they can't get together and be like, oh, it was okay. They don't even do that. They're like, nah, it sucked. It sucked. And that was Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But you gotta admit, Suicide Squad had so much potential, but when I went in, it's like the story was terrible. Like, I was thinking to myself, if I were the one to have made the Suicide Squad script or story, because I know the guy who wrote it, he had 6 weeks to prepare that script. So you're already under time constraints. And if I were to do it, number one, you can't have them fighting another metahuman because they're not superheroes and they're not heroes, or they're fucking shitty. The coolest one in that whole thing is probably Deadshot, but he's just an assassin.
And the only real metahuman, well, besides the Croc, I guess.
He's not a metahuman.
And
he's just a wrestler who looks like a crocodile. He's not like real like Killer Croc in the Arkham series is badass. This is just a dude with a bad skin condition.
Yeah.
And fucked up teeth.
Oh, the flame guy.
But see, he's the only one.
Diablo.
But what I'm saying is, if I were to do it, you want to know what the script would be?
What?
First off, it has to be like an Ocean's 11. It has to be a thriller in terms of a heist movie. All right, do that. Like, number one, we have to find a way to bring all these misfits together. And let's say, heist movie. Where are they gonna steal? You know who they can fucking steal from? Bruce fucking Wayne. All right, so that already brings us Batman. We're already gonna have Batman making an appearance in here because they're gonna try and fuck over Bruce Wayne. But they have to start up, and Harley Quinn and Deadshot and all these people, they have to come together in order because each person has their own special ability. And if we could do that, that would have been cool. And then at the end we get Batman and he beats the shit out of them and they go to jail or something. I understand Suicide Squad as a comic is Amanda Waller and she's like, oh, we have chips in your neck and you'll explode, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, it's fucking idiotic in terms of, they're like, oh, you're going to fight a metahuman. It's like, but Harley Quinn isn't special. She's just a girl who's crazy, Harleen Quinzel, by the fucking Joker. That's it. She was what was she, like a therapist in Arkham?
Yeah, she was his therapist. And
so we have, the DCEU already looming a bad shadow, and then we have Wonder Woman come out this summer. I hope Wonder Woman's good. I really do, because I like Chris Pine and I like Gal Gadot and all those people. And then we have the Justice League coming out in November. But I just saw today about the Green Lantern movie. It's going to be called The Green Lantern Corps in 2020. And they're going to try and make it Lethal Weapon in space.
Which, already, don't get me wrong, the Lethal Weapon movies were good. But I feel like, isn't that a little bit cheap to just...
Well, this is
I feel like the reviewer...
a redefined version of the film's concept. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. The new version is described as Lethal Weapon in space, and it's based on a comic book origin story. The focus will be on two characters, Hal Jordan the guy Ryan Reynolds played, because that's Hal Jordan's the white dude, and John Stewart, and John Stewart's the black Green Lantern. The latter is an African American Marine sniper before he joined the Lantern Corps, and the story very much focuses on his relationship with Jordan and the Corps. So, you know, Lethal Weapon's one of the greatest action movies ever made, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. The thing is, like, I ranted about DC. I'll see every one. I'm gonna see it, and I'm probably gonna see it 3, 4 times. But I'm not gonna be happy about it after I walk into the theater. I'm like, man, it's like I went into Batman versus Superman with such high hopes. And I'm like, this movie's gonna fucking rock. And I try and avoid all the reviews and all that shit. And then you go into it, and you're like, you kind of try and lie to yourself.
Isaac, are you wanting to say I'm too old for this shit?
Get too old for this shit. As Jon Stewart's gonna say now, since they're doing a fucking Lethal Weapon. So yeah, so that's the first story I wanted to talk about is Lethal Weapon in Space, aka Justice League Corps.
I don't know. Like I was saying,
Well,
I
no,
feel like
Green
that's
Lantern
this
Corps.
is kind of cheap to do. The whole Lethal Weapon in Space. I feel like that's just kind of throwing it out and just kind of just flopping. Like, yeah, it's like a movie I saw in the fucking 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it deserves a little bit more recognition. Especially it being a DC movie. But I feel like it going back to the origins. Like, how many times have we seen origin movies? Like, I think we all know who Green Lantern is. Maybe I guess, because they're going to be having Hal Jordan. So I guess
Yeah.
he'll already be an established character, which will be interesting. But
Yeah,
nonetheless, it's going to...
I don't know. It's Ryan Reynolds. He redeemed himself. Like, he fucked himself over with Deadpool in X-Men Origins Wolverine. But then he also fucked himself over in the Green Lantern movie. But then he redeemed himself by bringing fucking Deadpool back and the major success. Like, I think they're going to start shooting Deadpool 2 this year sometime. So hopefully we get that soon. But Green Lantern Corps, I don't know who's the cast is going to be, but I hope it's somebody good and they have a good supporting cast and they give it a good story, because I do understand it's big overarching movie universe, so they'll kind of have to give you little glimmers of what the next movie's going to be and shit. And of course they have to say the Green Lantern oath. What is it? Like, in brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. That's fucking badass. They need to put that in the movie. They need to make the fucking on the poster it say in brightest day, and they gotta fucking put that in there. So that's what makes Green Lantern for me. When I see that symbol, I think of the oath.
All right, so I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so a lot of the DC movies, what I can see, I may not know the nitty gritty details of it all. That's really what you're for. But I just see kind of DC following the steps of Marvel. And do you think that's a smart decision because they're trying to do the whole glimmers? Oh, this is going to be just like Marvel does all the time. And I feel like they're just kind of following that arc. Like, what do you think about that?
Well, DC is trying too hard to be like Marvel, but they're not putting in the work that Marvel did. Marvel, first off, Marvel, I'm talking about like the movie studio, Marvel Movies. They created their own little movie studio with the movies because they didn't own anything for the X-Men because they sold the movie rights for X-Men to Fox. Fantastic Four is owned by Fox. And I think, it's owned by Sony. No, Fox.
It's Fox.
And then Spider-Man, of course, is owned by Sony. So all their cool heroes are already taken. So they got money from the bank, and they made 2 movies. And if these movies flopped, Marvel Studios would have been basically taken over by the evil bankers. And they made 2 movies. They made Iron Man and The Incredible Hulk. Of course, Iron Man is the one that made it, is Robert Downey Jr. The guy's fucking one of the biggest actors in the world now, who he was big back then, but his career was over at that point because of all the drug shit he had been in, but he had been clean, and it's a good redemption story. But that's what Iron Man is. He's Tony Stark. And then Edward Norton's The Incredible Hulk, which I guess Edward Norton was really really shitty to work with. Like he rewrote the whole script and shit. Like that's why nobody liked Edward Norton. So when they did the Avengers, they hired Mark Ruffalo because they're like, we don't want to work with him again.
Yeah.
I guess Edward Norton's very unlikable.
Rubbed
So
everyone the wrong way.
yeah, so they started off with that, and then they did Iron Man 2, and they kept building the movies up. That's what we call Phase 1 now. And after Phase 1, we had the core characters built, and then they introduced the Avengers, which is why the movie is one of the biggest movies of all time. Is we had never seen all these superheroes who were built up. They did their fucking work. They put Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, and then we got, they showed us Black Widow and Iron Man 2, and they built her up, and Nick Fury. They gave us this whole world, and they mashed it, with Joss Whedon's Avengers, and it fucking rocked. It fucking rocked. It was awesome. But now DC is trying to do that, but without putting in the work. They released Man of Steel by Zack Snyder, and then there was supposed to be Man of Steel 2. But they ended up making that into Batman versus Superman in order to throw Batman into the universe. But then what did they also do in that movie? They threw Wonder Woman into the universe. They threw Cyborg. They threw The Flash. They threw Aquaman. They threw Lex Luthor. They threw Doomsday. They threw everything into that movie, which is why it's so convoluted. So they tried to throw too much into this movie without building up a universe. If DC was trying to go DC's route, Marvel's route, they would have done Marvel. Shit, I'm getting over myself. They should have done Superman, and then they should have done a Batman movie, and then an Aquaman movie, and a Wonder Woman movie, and all that first, and then the Justice League. But now we're getting Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, Suicide Squad, which introduced the Joker, but who knows where he's going to end up. And then we have Wonder Woman, and then Justice League. They didn't do a lot of work. So that's what we have there, and that's why they're doing bad, though, is they're rushing it.
They're trying to get quick cash. That's essentially what they're trying to go for. Like you were saying, how many years did it take for Marvel to build up their franchise? They even had an Iron Man 2 before they did.
From 2008 to 2012.
Uh-huh. And it was like that final moment, like even watching the movies now, you still sit there and you recognize its importance. You see how influential it was on the whole, just comic books in general. Like how many more comic book movies?
Yeah, and then, the movie, it started the Avengers. The movie, what is it, the movie before the Avengers was Captain America, the First Avenger, and I love how it ended is Captain America will return in the Avengers. You're like, fuck yeah. So those movies, I hope they do well, and I hope they find their footing, because they do need to find out what they are, because Marvel's is very colorful, and they do have a formula now, and that's kind of what's gets me mad about Marvel is they're trying to stick to a formula because it works and it's proven, but they're going to run it into the ground. But DC is trying their shitty formula too by doing Zack Snyder's shitty formula. In terms of their, number one, they're copying Christopher Nolan's dark look and Christopher Nolan's brooding and shit, which those movies were brilliant. The Dark Knight's one of my favorite movies of all time. But it doesn't fit when you're trying to add in Superman and Aquaman and all them, because they're fucking cartoon characters. They're comic book superheroes. They can't be too serious because then you won't buy it.
Like we were having a conversation a while back, and we were talking about how the Batman movies, like let's say, Batman Returns or Robin, all those movies like that. Like even with the
those are too cartoony. Though.
Yeah, but I think that light humor, it's funny. It's something that you can sit back and enjoy, like the scenes with Nicolas Cage.
Was it? I think it's Joel Schumacher or something like that. he ruined those movies. I read an article about Michael Keaton and why he didn't sign on for a third Batman movie. Is first off, Batman, which was Tim Burton's movie in 1989, which was what basically, Christopher Reeves was the first, but this is like the first, it's the first 90s movie basically, and what made superheroes. And then Batman Returns, which is awesome. But then Burton left because they were trying to make it's to sell toys. So they gave it to Schumacher, who fucking raped it, and they're like, "Oh, we'll make it colorful and all this." And Michael Keaton said the reason he left is they kept saying, "Oh no, we got to add more colors and make it funner and all this." And he's like, "I don't want to have anything to do with this because yeah, Tim Burton's look and stuff. You look at it today, it's really kiddie and it's very Burton-esque." But they went off and did their own thing, which is what Batman Forever with Val Kilmer, and then we got George Clooney, and they kind of ruined it. So
Well, see, I was more pointing towards Tim Burton's.
yeah,
Like that's a movie that we can all sit there and watch and enjoy. Like even with the scenes like where
back then that was considered dark.
uh,
That was considered really dark.
really.
They watch those movies today. The new movies today, they'd kill themselves afterwards. I'm like, man, there's this. Like, Man of Steel is so depressing. It's so depressing. So let's get off that subject and let's get on the Marvel bandwagon. How does that sound?
Sounds like
Let's get on the winning team real quick.
what we've been saying for the past 20 some minutes.
Yeah. So when we have Marvel, and they have their shit together. Like, DC has really good TV shows. They do better, like the WBs, like Flash. I really like Flash. I like Arrow.
Shield.
That's Marvel.
No, but I'm saying like
And then there's Supergirl now, and I like those. But I think Netflix is also outdoing them in terms of their TV with Netflix. Like, they're not doing the kiddie, like, oh, 40-some minutes and a bunch of commercials trying to sell to teenagers. They're selling to adults on theirs. Have you seen Daredevil on Netflix? It's fantastic. Season 2, The Punisher, fantastic. Then we got Jessica Jones, which is my favorite Netflix show in terms of Marvel. I love Jessica Jones. That was awesome. I liked David Tennant's character. Jessica, get over here. So that was awesome. And then we have Luke Cage. And then now there's Luke Cage. I liked it. I watched the first season. It's very, Harlem and all that. So Luke Cage is cool. But now they're making the Defenders movie because we have one more show that's about to come out. Iron Fist. So then we have Iron Fist that comes out next. And then they're doing the Defenders, which is basically a lamer Avengers, but it's still way better than what the Justice League is going to be. So they're making, it's going to be a Netflix
dude, you're
movie.
digging deep right now with that dagger, dude.
I'm not digging deep. I'm just thinking what everybody thinks of. It's like, prove me fucking wrong, because I'm going to pay for every DC movie, but prove me wrong. But the Defenders, even on Netflix, is going to be better than half that shit. And they just announced today, well, not announced, they gave us a first look at Sigourney Weaver. She's going to be the villain in Defenders. So that's going to be awesome. Sigourney Weaver, of course, Ripley from Alien movies, those are epic. And then Ghostbusters. Are you the gatekeeper? Or is it the Ring? It's one of those. But yeah, we got fucking Sigourney Weaver in here, so she's going to be awesome in that. There's a quote on here. Her character is a very powerful force in New York City. She's everything Sigourney Weaver is: sophisticated, intellectual, dangerous. So
it's in New York City, so she's back with
well, yeah, the
Ghostbusters.
the Defenders those shows really do revolve around New York and Hell's Kitchen and Harlem and all that now. And Ramirez added that Alexandra has so that's going to be her name, has an intellectual sophistication that matches Wilson Fisk, the villain played by Vincent D'Onofrio in Daredevil.
Which, wow, his character was...
Oh yeah, that Kingpin of Wilson Fisk with Vincent D'Onofrio is fucking amazing. So yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Blah blah blah. So yeah, Sigourney Weaver. I don't. It doesn't give us a release date, but debut on Iron Fist will debut on Netflix on in March 2017. So we got a couple months until we get Iron Fist, which will be cool. About a white dude who somehow learns all the Chinese. He has like a hard something of a dragon in him. I never really read the Iron Fist comics.
The only times I really ever saw Iron Fist was in Deadpool comics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's where I've really seen him the most. And Cage, Luke Cage.
Cage is tight.
You know, I've only ever really seen both of those two guys in Deadpool comics, but nonetheless, I always enjoyed their little adventures that they went on with Deadpool. Even though Deadpool was a little misguided. Like, if you read the new Deadpool comics, they showed a what was it? They're in like the 70s, I think, and it was showing like how Deadpool had a kid.
Yeah, Iron Fist is very 70s, and that's where the comic comes from.
Mm.
So yeah, I kind of want to be surprised. That's why I've also been a little lackluster on the characters. I'm like, I'll see it in the Netflix show, because Disney's fucking knocking it out of the park.
You're having so much faith. You're like, I know it's going to be
It's gonna
true
be
to
good. It's gonna be good.
the source material.
It's gonna have above 80% on Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb or any of that shit. It's gonna, that it's just kind of a given anymore. And so Disney, you're doing a good job. And you want to know what another good thing Disney's doing? Star Wars.
Oh, oh God.
So then we have Star Wars, of course, which is owned by Disney. Disney fucking owns everything. But I guess Disney is in talks with Carrie Fisher's family about getting her CG'd into Star Wars Episode 9.
9. Wow.
Which I agree on just because she left us too soon. And they were going to... Number one, they were going to make... I read they were gonna make her character. They were gonna give her a big role for Episode 9. Because number one, I don't like how they didn't explain. Is remember in Return of the Jedi, Vader keeps telling Luke, "Join me," or die and shit. And then he goes, or your sister will.
Uh-huh.
Even Yoda, when he was, Ghost Yoda was talking to Ghost Obi-Wan on Dagobah. He's like, yeah, he's our only hope. And then Yoda's like, but there is another. And you're like, oh shit, who is that? And then you find out it's his sister's been Leia the whole time and blah, blah, blah. But Leia's force sensitive, but we haven't gotten to see any of her force powers.
I mean, we haven't seen any of her powers, but we know that she is able to do the sense, like she could sense, like even when Han Solo died. Spoilers, which.
Yeah, I think but of course she had a huge connection to him. It's not like fucking Obi-Wan when they're on the Millennium Falcon and then they blow up Alderaan. He's like, oh, it's just like 1,000 screaming voices all went out at once. That was more Jedi powers. But yeah, she's force sensitive, and I want to see that. So Episode 8, they wrapped in July, so she's gonna be in that. But then they have to kill her off. Don't do a Paul Walker. In terms of, she's riding side by side with Vin Diesel and he's not dead. He's just a family man now. He can't do this stuff anymore. Don't do that. Make it like, oh, I'm on this ship. Make her death matter.
A martyr.
Please. Like, make it matter. Make it give the characters drive. I understand people like, oh, that's fucking so disrespectful. Well, I'm like, no, we lost Princess Leia. We lost her not only... In real life, we lost Carrie Fisher, but we lost our fucking, princess, who's a huge role model to everyone. She was probably one of my first crushes as a little kid. So, they're talking about that, and I hope, don't put her throughout the whole movie, because I didn't, she can't be in it a long time like Tarkin, but make her on a ship, and then the First Order comes, and it explodes, and then they show her on the TV, like... Okay, guys, get out of here. I'll keep them occupied. Get out. And then they all get out, and then her ship blows up. And I'm like, no. And then they're all angry. Now it's personal. Okay, I can understand that.
And it would test Rey with the whole, being a Jedi, you can't go for revenge.
Well, yeah, that's why I hope
So it's going to test her.
Luke has a big part in it too, because Luke is the new Obi-Wan. But also, what we have coming out this year is Episode 8, but the next year, which is they're gearing up to start filming for this year, is the Star Wars Han Solo origin story. And I read, Donald Glover is going to be doing the young Lando Calrissian, and he was on, the show just won Golden Globes and shit at the Golden Globe, and for the show Atlanta, which I hear really good things about. I just haven't had time to watch it. But I guess Atlanta Season 2 is being held to 2018 due to Donald Glover's Star Wars commitments.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, 2018, for all you Atlanta fans, I'm sorry to disappoint you. You have to wait to 2018 like we have to wait for Westworld, but it'll be worth it because you get Donald Glover in Atlanta, and we get him as young Lando Calrissian. I really want to see that. I want to see that.
Which Donald Glover, what was the movie that I last saw him in?
The Martian.
The Martian, yeah. I really liked him in that, like his character, and then he's in
Community.
Community, yeah. And it's just kind of surprising, like he's a rapper and an actor.
Oh yeah, Childish Gambino, I love him. No. He's really cool, but I also really like him as an actor. But also on more Han Solo film news, Woody Harrelson has just been confirmed as the mentor role in the Star Wars Han Solo film.
Yeah, I heard about
Woody
that.
Woody Harrelson. I think I've said this a couple times on the podcast, but he's one of my favorite actors. Since I was a kid, I'm watching like The Cowboy Way and all that. He's just always been one of my favorites. That's why I love to watch Kingpin and stuff. Is Woody Harrelson? He's just a good actor, and he's cool. So
Zombieland.
Yeah, Zombieland.
He was one of the characters that made that movie.
Oh yeah, that's the only reason I saw it. I don't really. What was it, Jesse Eisenberg? I'm not big on him.
You mean Lex Luthor?
So Woody Harrelson, he also had this to say about it. He says, "I'm a mentor to Han, but I'm also a bit of a criminal. Of course, Han's a smuggler, so of course he's going to be, mentored by a bad guy. I don't think I should say much more than that because the Force is not allowing me." AKA Mickey Mouse is holding a gun to your head, saying, "Go ahead and talk, bitch. You want to die? Tell me you want to die, bitch.
Do I look like a bitch?
Does Mickey Mouse look like a bitch? Why are you trying to fuck him like a bitch?" So yeah, that's the news on Han Solo, and I hope Han Solo is good too. But I think that's the difference between Disney and say Warner Bros. Is with Disney, I don't know. I just I'm one with the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force is with me. It's like I trust Disney they're gonna give us what we want, and you're gonna walk out of it. There's some people who just don't like anything. They go like people. I was hearing Rogue One was terrible. It was so dumb. Blah blah. I'm like, hey, think what you want, but to me, it was amazing. It's one of the best Star Wars movies ever made. Because, number one, it wasn't cutesy. It wasn't trying to sell us Ewoks or fucking Jar Jar Binks or anything cute. No, it was like, this is a war movie, and it's not going to end well for the good guys. And then we know the story afterwards of, hey, Luke and them get the Death Star plans, they get them to Yavin, and boom, they fucking blow the shit up. It's a happy ending at that, but these people died for a reason. So Disney's really good at that. And with the Han Solo film, I trust Disney's going to do a good job.
Now, here's one thing that kind of surprised me by hearing that Woody Harrelson, sorry, is going to be in this movie. Yeah.
Keep going.
The thing that kind of surprised me about him being in this movie is because a lot of the times with Star Wars movies, especially when Episode 7 came out, everyone was like, Who's this chick that's playing Rey and Finn? Most of these actors, I never really heard of. No. And that's one thing that I liked about Star Wars is that they start new actors.
Yeah,
they kind of make them into something. But then seeing Woody Harrelson come out of nowhere, I'm like, it's going to be a character that I recognize, but I'm also excited for it. To see how he unravels.
like Forrest Whitaker in Rogue One, Mads Mikkelsen. It's like there's a huge, Donnie Yen, all those huge actors. Of course, like Disney, every if you are a movie star, you want to be in something Disney made.
Oh yeah.
Because number one, the residuals you're gonna get for that movie, you're fucking good. So everybody wants to be in something Disney because it's going to be big, just like Kurt Russell's going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy and all this with these huge stars who you never really, Kurt Russell started as I think Kurt Russell is one of the last people that Walt Disney ever hired himself.
Really?
Yeah, young Kurt Russell, he hired him, and Kurt Russell was in the live action Disney movies as a teenager and stuff, and the heartthrob. But then he became the action star we know today.
Which Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh yeah, Big Trouble in Little China, Escape from New York, Escape from L.A. They just put on Amazon Prime that you have to watch is Bone Tomahawk. That one was badass. It's slow, really slow, but that movie.
You showed me a scene, just a scene from that movie.
Yeah, these creepy, like the Native Americans, but they're what regular Native Americans is the boogeymen to them. They're fucking terrified. They don't fuck with those guys. I forgot the name of the tribe that they call them, but that's a good movie. But Kurt Russell in a Disney movie, like a Marvel movie, I guess. Because you can call it Disney, but it's all under the umbrella of Disney, under a Marvel Studios movie. Then we have Woody Harrelson, and I don't know who else is going to be confirmed for episode 8, but like, look at Adam Driver. He's a huge star now. He was big with girls, but he's a huge star now because of his role as Kylo Ren. Ray, she's a big star. What is it? Daisy something. And then John Boyega as Finn. So they're big stars, Star Wars makes stars, but it also wants star power.
Yeah, people with they know that they're already tested.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, have a really good couple years, and anything Disney is going to be awesome. We keep talking about them, but there's a lot of news coming out on it. Remember when Carrie Fisher's death, and now it's being confirmed that they're going to try and CG her. But number one, the technology is where it is, where it's kind of like a no-brainer. Of course they're going to do that. They're not going to get a stunt double and be like, no, this is Princess Leia now. Believe it, motherfucker. No, they're not stupid. They're going to get it where, it looks like her, and I'm sad we lost her in real life, but I want to see her go on as Leia. I don't want to see her throughout the whole movie. I want to see her, sacrifice herself for a greater cause, because then, yeah, she will be a martyr, as you say, and she would have died for a reason. But that just makes me sad to think she's gone. So I think we need a palate cleanser to get rid of the movies and to end the episode with a little bit of a laugh. I like to end them with a laugh just because I like to look up stupid articles. And sometimes you see articles that are just so fucking stupid. Have you ever heard of the phrase, eat a bag of dicks?
Very, very, very often I hear that.
It's like, where was it where we heard where they're like, eat a bag of dicks? And he's like, do you want me to eat like the whole bag of dicks at once? Or to take each dick out of the bag and eat it individually? Like, how do you want me to eat the bag of dicks when you tell me to eat a bag of dicks?
I remember Louis C.K.'s always talking about bags of dicks.
I think it was him.
Yeah, I think it was Louis C.K.
But now it's kind of, I guess there is an actual, they make dick-shaped gummies, and it's a company that you can have them send people a bag of dicks, and it sends a little card that says, eat a bag of dicks. Well, we have somebody who took this joke too far, and they're fucking pissed. And the title, and this is from the New York Post by Jackie Solo, is HR Director Sues to Find Out Who Sent Her a Bag of Dicks.
What?
Yeah. So an HR director is suing to find out who sent her a bag of dicks. This human resources director is taking legal action to find out who wants her to eat a bag of dicks.
Wow. Just
Melody Lennox filed a lawsuit Tuesday after she was less than amused to receive a package of gummy penises. Lennox, who works for Axis Technology Solutions in Dallas, alleges this is not the work of a generous individual, but someone trying to harass her.
No. What?
What? According to the Dallas Morning News, she claims the person who sent her the bag of dicks might also have something to do with her car being keyed and bogus Craigslist ads tormenting her. Wow, somebody
Wait.
hates this lady.
Why would you go as far as, all right, keying's kind of like too
Dick
far.
move.
Yeah,
And
but then Craigslist
I don't
ads. That one's just out of the blue.
Someone doesn't like their human resources. That's all I have to say. Which HR is a scary word in a company, anyways.
Yeah.
So poor her. But she's. Watch, I'll keep going. The package, which came from a company aptly named Dicks by Mail, awesome name, was sent to her on December 7th. She sued the company, demanding it reveal the prankster's identity so she can, quote, put an end to the harassment, unquote, according to the suit. On the company's website, Dicks by Mail markets itself as a, quote, great way to tell your friends, family, loved ones, or enemies to eat a bag of dicks, unquote.
I feel like that's a great little advertisement motto right there.
Yep. In only a few minutes, you can send a literal bag of dicks to that special friend or dickhole in your life, the product description reads. For $15, the treat is sent with a note to eat a bag of dicks in case the package itself does not get the message across. But to be honest, gummies are one of my favorite candies. So if I got a bag of gummies and it said eat a bag of dicks, I'm sorry, I'm eating a bag of dick gummies because gummies are fucking awesome.
You whore.
Yeah, even if they're like dick shaped, I'm gonna think they're like little spaceships. I'm like, oh look, that's just those aren't balls, those are thrusters.
What's that hair on them?
Ugh.
No.
Yeah, yeah. But
Just sparks.
But the company claims the product is intended to be lighthearted. It's not meant to be a threat or a way to bully, the site says. If you are sending this with the intent to ruin someone's day, then maybe it's you who needs to eat a bag of dicks.
Damn.
But that's basically the article where I'm like, man, this lady's pissed, was like, why are you suing a company for just doing their job? Like,
You could tell she's really good at her job. HR, that kind of dictates having a stick up your ass.
Well, number one, people hate HRs because they're the ones who do the firing. It's their job as human resources is when they're like, this person needs to go, they're going to get fired. So her car got keyed. Look at the last few people you've let go. One of them did it. The Craigslist shit. Look at some of the people you've let go. It's probably one of them. Look at the bag of dicks. Look at somebody you let go. It's somebody who, these people are childish, but maybe the person who sent the bag of dicks, that's the best way to kind of say fuck you without keying someone's car or...
Yeah, like I said, I feel like keying is... It takes it a bit too far.
That's destruction of property.
And Craigslist ads, that's just going out of your way to do a stupid joke.
Well,
Bag of dicks, though, that's classy. I think that is classy because the person you're giving them a snack and saying, eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah, eat a bag of dicks, it's not a politically
It's
correct,
like a farewell.
Or, it's not a good, nice thing to say, but it's also kind of like, yeah, go fuck yourself. Yeah, I'd rather be told to eat a bag of dicks than to go fuck yourself. I eat a bag of dicks because at least it's lighthearted. But that's how the last thing I wanted to talk about for the podcast of episode 4, People Are Lame.
So wait, just real quick. You're wrapping up the podcast by saying...
Eat a bag of dicks? Maybe. I'm just saying I'm wrapping up the podcast with that last story. So, thank you for joining me today, Billy.
Yep.
This is my brother, Bill.
Yep.
And this is me, Isaac Gilliber, your host for People Are Lame. Again, you can follow us on Facebook under, on People Are Lame Podcast. That's where you can find us on Facebook. And then on Twitter, follow us at People Lame Pod. And that's for our People Are Lame Pod Twitter account, so People Lame Pod. You can listen to this on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and YouTube. So on any of those, if you can give a subscribe and 5 stars or subscribe or any of that shit that'll help us, please do, because I'm really excited to get to know the community. So again, People Lane Pod on Twitter. Let us know what you thought of the podcast, what you think we can change, what you want to hear more of, and we'll do that for you.
Let me get to know you better.
Yeah, let us get to know you. So thank you for joining me, Bill, and have a good and safe weekend, everybody. And if you're listening to this at a later date, go fuck yourself. Well, sorry. People are lame. I'm not trying to tell you to screw yourself.
You just said go eat. The
Go eat a
implication
bag of
of
dicks.
eating.
Go fuck yourself.
Alright, that's lame, man.
Yep, lame.
Lame.
I was barely legal, looking for something evil to say and people to be antagonized. And you said to me it's not a good strategy, you should grow up, try to act like you're civilized. I explained that I just valued sincerity, you should go fuck yourself and then try to die. You were sick of it and called me an idiot and left town and said, are you satisfied? If I had what you had, I could get you to break. No, I'm not in your face, I'm just getting by. If I had what you had, I could get you to break. No, I'm not in your face, I'm just getting by. Oh, caught a beating but would not be defeated by any man who couldn't see I was always right. All I said was I don't mean to offend, but you're the dumbest motherfucker I've seen all night.